Hey. Oh. All right. Should I sit over here? Is she nervous?
No.
Huh?
Ask you questions?
Yeah.
This is Twitter. Why would it be Twitter?
Is this Facebook?
YouTube. YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. It's YouTube.
You go live on YouTube.
Huh?
You go live on YouTube.
Yep. Come on, bro. Oh my gosh. Stop, Serenity. This better not fall. Hold on, let's see something. Ew.
Mommy.
Yes.
Oh.
It's been a long day. And I want to go to sleep. What have you done today? Speak up.
In
Yeah,
my room.
So, I wish I had a microphone.
No.
Do you want a little pillow behind you?
You already loud.
Do you want a little pillow behind you? Thank you. Hey guys, I'm letting everybody come in here. So tonight's live is about mother-daughter healing, trauma, bonding. Yes, this couch is one of my favorites. She don't be on the couch. About mother-daughter bonding, healing. So none of this is scripted. None of this was, like we didn't go over it. I had a very busy day today. I simply asked my daughter last night, like, would you go live with me and like talk to people and like ask me questions that you feel like you want to ask. So I don't know what she will say. It will be my first time hearing things. So yeah, like it's completely unscripted. So
What are you doing?
cause like I don't know what you about to ask. Not Couch Chronicles. All right. So I'm trying to give it some time because I know Meek about to walk in. Do I need to adjust my lighting? And I want to make sure y'all could hear me too. It's too late to adjust it. Okay. So my daughter I don't think that she's seen the stuff that I put on YouTube by her expression of, oh, we're on YouTube. So, yeah. Hold on, guys. Why are you laughing? Hey, babe. So I don't know if my daughter has seen, huh? That's cute. It's not crooked. I try my best. Okay, we were interrupted. My girlfriend got her hair cut and looks really sexy. Anywho, get away from my couch. Okay, so she hasn't seen my videos. Have you seen my videos about what's going on and stuff like that?
Yeah.
What?
I see your YouTube.
How'd you see my YouTube?
I see your YouTube.
How?
It's YouTube, Mom. Who doesn't be on YouTube? I seen it.
I don't be on YouTube, so I wouldn't just know if you were floating around.
I'm not floating around. I seen.
What did you see?
And I seen you on somebody else's channel.
Somebody else's channel?
Or somebody else's thing, whatever.
Who? I don't know. It was a reaction or something? How you feel about it?
I already knew.
Yes, you knew.
What happened? But you told me, remember?
Oh. I don't remember.
You gotta ask questions about that?
Huh?
You gotta ask questions about that?
I don't gotta ask questions about
No,
that?
I don't.
Why?
Because
You gotta speak up. You gotta talk.
Because you told me already.
Yeah, but how do you feel about it?
Mm.
Do you think that affected me as a mom with you? By seeing the videos that you saw of me and me expressing everything. Oh yeah, I did tell you 2 years ago. So how do you feel like that has made an impact on me mothering you?
Mm-mm.
Do you know what I mean by does it have an impact?
No.
How you gonna cut me off first? You're just staring into the camera. Like, this is supposed to be a heart to heart. You're just...
Mom, what do you mean? I have to look at the camera.
Okay, but... do you feel like... how do you feel like it affected me? Negative or positive?
Negative.
And so when we have negative emotions, right? You didn't know that I was dealing with that really honestly. I told you about it, right? Did you feel like I was dealing with it all these years, all this time?
Yeah.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Did it show?
No.
It never showed how I felt about those things. So it's safe to say that I dealt with it pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you think. So I continue to be a mom to you the same way I've always been a mom?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel I am as a mom? You have to answer questions.
Good.
What does you keep doing thumbs up for? Getting new shoes has nothing to do with me.
Okay, well. Good.
That's all you have to say? I need you to elaborate. Talk to the people. How do you feel I am as a parent? Let's think about how I was when you were young, all the way up until now. Were there good times and bad times?
Yeah. But back then I used to get in less trouble by you.
When you were smaller?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you feel?
Yeah, I definitely got in less trouble when I was smaller.
Why do you think you get in more trouble as you get older?
Because my attitude get worse.
Right. Oh, I'm glad you know. I'm glad you know. Somebody ain't had to tell you. So, dealing with all the stuff that I was dealing with, and still, basically, you're still saying I remained consistent as a parent. But there were still bad times, but you felt like those times were just regular times. You don't feel like anything was impacting those moments of me being a mother to you. Okay, but I want you to elaborate on how you feel I am as a mother. What could I improve?
You're yelling.
You always say that, and I've yelled less and talk way more.
Mm-hmm.
What else can I improve as a parent?
That's it. Yelling. That's it.
So,
nothing else really. I'm taking my phone, but you have to do that.
You gotta speak up.
Taking my phone, but you have to do that because.
Hey, there's something on the back of the door. Okay, so improving my yelling, which I don't feel like I yell. Taking your phone, which I take your phone because I feel like you're addicted to it. You're addicted to your phone. It's like a drug.
She thinks I be on it. I really be asleep the whole day. I don't know. It only be at nighttime when you hear me.
It don't be at nighttime all the time. I hear you giggling throughout the whole day.
Go ahead looking at reels. What's the
So what? Shani, you're boring at this point.
Not boring.
You're boring. What are some questions that you have for me when you watch those stories? What do you feel? What do you have? Do you have any questions that you would ask me in regards to the story that you heard? If it was you, how would you feel?
Depressed, but
you would feel depressed. Why?
Because.
Articulate. Use your words. What's coming to mind? You can say whatever you want to say.
Words can't even explain.
Can't explain what?
That story. But
that's your grandmother.
I got spoke.
I don't like her.
Don't either.
Why don't you like her?
Because you don't. Guess we both don't.
Would you ever meet her? Would you ever want to meet her?
Did before I heard that story.
Before you heard that story?
Before I heard that story. Yeah. Nope.
Why?
I mean, I could say hey. It's gonna be into that. It's gonna be into that. I ain't saying nothing else. I just say hey. I ain't saying nothing else after that. I ain't conversation with her. You don't like talking anyway.
You don't.
So I'm not going to do it.
Would you have questions for her?
A lot.
Like what?
What was the reason?
Any other questions?
You gotta think about the rest.
I know. I'm impressed that you feel like I didn't miss a beat this whole entire time. So it really was. I mean, I did. I don't feel like I did miss a beat either. I feel like it was just hard for me to get up in the morning. It was hard for me to talk to you the same. Like I had to act like nothing was going on. But imagine not being able to any other person. Loki, stop it. Imagine any other person, like, how would you feel? Like, how would you feel if that was you? Like, if you found out all this stuff, like you were with another family and found out all of this stuff.
Cuss her out.
You would cuss who out? Me, hypothetically? If I was her?
Yes.
I would never give you guys up. I never thought about it.
Too cute for that.
Huh?
You're too cute for that.
How are you too cute for that?
We.
What you talking about, as a baby?
Yes.
Well, obviously looks didn't matter in this story, right? What?
She is terrible.
Did it hurt you?
Treat my mother like that. I wish I was older. You should tell me when I was older.
Why?
So I could be able to cuss. I still can, right? It's technically be 15. Technically, I'm gonna be 15 in like.
Why does this 15 mean that you can curse? What is there a rule about that?
In like 3 days.
First of all, let's be real. Let's be honest. You be cursing. You're just talking about you don't curse. You don't curse. You do what you're supposed to do.
Daddy said he'd rather me do it on the phone than in front of y'all or to y'all.
Right. I don't care. I be hearing your conversations. You be cursing. Yeah. When you get loud and belligerent at whoever's on the phone, then yeah, no, I'm not with that. But to curse at somebody, you still gotta have respect. You are still a child, and you could respectfully disrespect somebody.
Yeah.
You could respectfully disrespect somebody. But no, I can't have you cursing at somebody. Not intentionally.
I'm just like, what the hell? That's not even a cuss word, though. Like, that's technically not a cuss word. That's not even a cuss word.
So if you would have got bopped in the head, then what?
This is not technically a cuss word. That's actually respectfully. That's the most respectful thing.
I mean, it kind of is. It kind of is respectful. I mean, because you're not calling somebody out their name and stuff like that. So you could just remain respectful. I'm just saying, like, if there was a conversation being had, what would you be saying? Like, what would you say to her? I mean, why did she do it? Okay, cool. What other questions do you have? You know, like...
Was there a reason behind it?
That's still the why.
No. No.
You want to know the exact reason.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel like? Why do you feel like she did it?
Because she did what she wanted to do. She did what she felt like she wanted to do. Instead of making the right decision, she did the wrong thing.
Fair enough. What if it was right to her?
It probably felt right to her.
Did it? So even though we know when something is wrong, if we know it's wrong, right? How do we make ourselves feel like it's right?
No, she never did it in the first place.
So you think she lied to herself to make it right?
Mm-hmm. Lying always do it.
Does it? Yes. How you know?
I'm lying.
How you know?
Lying always do the trick. It don't work every time, but it works sometimes.
What, to lie to yourself?
Not just to yourself.
To other people?
Mm-hmm.
So she said that I died in the hospital, so you feel like that's a lie?
What? That's a lie.
Why?
At what age?
When I was born.
Now, how are you here?
Right. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
That don't even still sound realistic. That's too big of a lie.
So if you had a baby and let's just say, right, that was the truth, right? So if you had a baby and the people and the doctor came to you and said your baby died when they took the baby back to the nursery, would you walk out that hospital without the baby?
No.
Why?
No. Take the baby.
Dead? If it was dead?
Oh, I don't really care about the child. Do anything you could, bring the child back. But you can't then. I don't believe. Because somebody's child died while they was born and the person did not alive. So that's how you know that's a lie.
Well, yeah. So what else did you hear in that story?
We don't know.
You saw the new YouTubes?
The new ones?
Yeah.
I just seen the one with the newspaper.
That's not a YouTube. Oh, yeah, it is a YouTube. It is. Or were you on my Instagram? Right, you were on my Instagram.
I was on my Instagram. I was on YouTube.
I bet.
Because I searched up you. Yeah.
Well,
What's her name?
who?
Your mother.
Oh, my mother.
Well, that person.
Tracy. Why?
I'm just asking.
Why? You got something to say to her?
Oh, she's on here?
Might be.
I don't like you. Leave.
That's it?
Yeah. I don't want to say that. I don't.
You know I don't promote hate. But I am giving you a platform to speak, so that's why I'm saying that. So if that's something that you want to, if you have something to say, you can definitely say it. I'm not.
I'd rather keep my mouth closed.
Why? Because you want to curse.
I have so much to say.
But you can't curse on YouTube. But you have so much to say, then why would you say it?
Because it's not appropriate.
Because it's just curses. It's just curses. What?
That's the only thing I got for her right now. Curse words. That's looking on YouTube.
Let's see. They said tell her how you really feel. Who do you want to tell how she really feels? Are you talking about Tracy or are you talking about me? So for me, I feel like every parent has their issues. Every parent feels a certain type of way about their parenting, and for me, I feel like I let you down sometimes. That I did the best that I could, even when I was a single parent. And I feel like when I had you, I was 19, 20. And I just feel like I was a child then. Sometimes I sit and I cry about certain things that could have happened to you that I didn't realize back then. But that I also did my best to protect you. Like, I have anxiety, so when you feel like I'm yelling at you, it could just be a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of factors. Doesn't necessarily mean you always did something wrong. It's also things where I feel like I can prevent something bad from happening to you, which I can, teach you. But I don't want to go so hard on you about it. So I feel like there are times that I could have did better as a parent. But for you, you're saying that you don't feel like there was any time that I lacked. But there was so many times where I couldn't get out of bed. I cried myself to sleep. Even when the school couldn't give you the support that you needed with that thing, like with not even giving you a graduation, like that broke me. And so I care about you more than you'll ever know. And these situations make me that much stronger as a parent. So this is why I held on tight to you for so long. But you're getting older, so therefore you on your way out this motherfucking house. I know that. I can tell you that. Thank you. No. She has not met her. Um, Tracy used to ask. She used to ask all the time, can I, well, I'm not going to say all the time. We've had about 3 conversations. And in those 3 conversations, she said when am I going to meet your kids? And I told her that she wasn't going to meet my kids anytime soon. I guard them. So it's not, because my daughter's older, I can sit on here, like sit on the internet, have these conversations with her. But other than that, like, nobody in their energy, unless I feel that their energy is, as far as being an adult, that their energy is aligning with mine and that I can completely feel comfortable and safe about what they would say to my child, and my child will be able to tell me, exactly what they felt in those moments, can really articulate or even distinguish when someone is throwing shade for real as a family. Because when we classify people as family, you sort of get this ease and this comfortability that you're safe with them. And so just because family was found and popped up, I was not quick to jump my kids out there to meet them. Oh, hey, this is your mom. This is your grandmother. This is your grandfather. Like, I'm not. Me and my dad have a way better relationship, an awesome relationship. And he's asking, but I told him, let's take this one day at a time. Because there's one, at sometimes, people will act one way and then the next moment they act a different way. And for me, I just don't do this. You have to be consistent. You have got to be consistent with me. You have to be consistent with yourself. If you're not consistent with yourself, you cannot be consistent with my children. So therefore, I'm not about to allow people that are inconsistent in their own lives to come forward. People that have mistreated me, and I will feel comfortable with them meeting my kids. How does that make anything, better for them? Yeah, I really do feel like that's what she's doing. It does seem like she's holding them inside. That's facts. Not 30, maybe 30 years is a lot, but yeah. They really want you to say what it is you want to say. But I don't know if I'm gonna get banned on YouTube. do they let you curse on YouTube?
I don't know.
Do people curse on YouTube?
Yes, but
am I gonna get banned?
I don't know.
Say what it is you want to say to this lady. Hey. Somebody said I won't get banned.
You ain't gonna see the B word. Because the way I use it.
Yeah, the way you use it is nasty. Because I hear you on the phone. But say what you gotta say. I think she's just timid to say certain things around me. Like, I really feel like you do got something to say, but you just scared to say it around me.
That shit's just...
But I don't... Damn, that was just the shit word, and that shit took me out of pocket. Continue. Like, if this is her right here, just talk to her. What would you say?
That's fucked up. That's some weird ass shit.
You got away with a little bit.
Mm-mm.
That's all.
Yup.
Why is it weird?
Because how do you lie when somebody dying in the hospital as a baby?
And then what? And what else? What else is weird?
Did she? So nothing. She didn't come back to the hospital. None of that.
Mm-mm.
Exactly. That's just.
But you know the real story? Did you see the real story?
Mm-mm.
So, right, I told her she doesn't have to use curse words. So, the real story is that was on the YouTube's. The real story is that she lied to everybody. That's first things first. Then she brought me home from the hospital. And my speculation is that from the documents that I have and from talking to my dad, because I talked to my dad, my real dad, and he said that he remembers me coming home. Also, my sister had said the same thing. Even though she was 1 year old, she had said the same thing. She remembers me coming home. After that, she never saw me again. So what ended up happening was she brought me home. I stayed there for 3 months, and she got into an argument with my dad, and she took me and dropped me off. Gave me away.
Because of an argument.
That's what it looks like.
That doesn't make sense.
So over a man, I believe, who she ended up marrying the next year, which is even foul. It's even worse. The next year,
If she
she
didn't want a child, should have just said that. Seemed like she didn't want a goddamn child. She said she didn't want a child. Well, she said she didn't want a child. She said she didn't want a child.
I don't think that's what it was. She had a child the next year. My sister's 1 year younger than me. She got pregnant again after she gave me up.
So did she give her away?
Nope.
Exactly.
And then the one after that, she didn't give away. And the one before that, she didn't give away. And the one before that,
The one that
she
you
did.
look like?
Yeah. And they all got her back.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
Cause this is not their situation. So say they don't know.
That's why you feel. That's how you feel like why they're acting the way they're acting.
I mean, it does their mother, but it's not their situation. So
So you're saying
they're not in your shoes, so they can't.
they can't feel it.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, keep that over there.
I mean, that's a new perspective. I mean, I don't think I've seen it that way. I think for me, I felt like even though it's not their situation, how can you not feel it? How come you feel it? How come you feel it and they can't?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? Like, if you can feel it and they can't, what does that mean?
They don't care. That's how I take it.
So now I know I don't feel. Now if you and I feel the same way, then I know that I know for sure that that's what the feeling should be. So that's how I feel. I feel like they don't care. Mind you, the reason that we're not talking is just because they haven't contacted me anymore. So I want you to know that children are blessings. I don't want you to have a child anytime soon because I feel like you need to be more sufficient. Of course, I can't sit here and talk down about a child having a child because I know people in my family that have had children young and they're doing well. It's all about how you carry yourself. I see how you are every bit of me. And so I can tell that you like children. Do you want one?
2.
And be married?
Mm-hmm. A girl and a boy. Isaiah and Armani. I was gonna pick Crystal King, but
Yeah, I feel so too. I feel that too. What does being a parent look like? What is the ideal model of a parent? Like, what makes a parent a parent? Like, you're like, without it, you could not be deemed a parent. Like, what makes a parent a parent? Mom, dad. Does everybody? Do you feel like everybody deserves that title?
no.
Do you say that out of experience? Do you feel like some people shouldn't have a title as a parent? Do you know any parents that you feel like shouldn't be a parent?
Mm-mm.
I didn't think so. So I feel like siblings and children are always going to be team mom. I feel like they should not only see this but feel it too because it is so wrong. The unconditional love that we give makes us more of a parent, loving our babies through it all. A mom cares what the child is wearing and how happy they are, but a mother nurtures and pours into their child, protects their child, sacrifices for their child. Exactly. So what is being a parent to you?
Exactly what they said. I was just about to say what they said.
It's all about your mental. Do you feel like I've cared about your mental?
Mm-hmm.
All the time? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Do I care about your mental than I care about your physical appearance? You feel like
most definitely because you see my
what? Trey, shut up. You're just adding. You just want to add extra.
My good. I don't need. For me, I'm already cute.
I feel like, and what I've had the conversations with my girlfriend, that when I talk to my girlfriend, I really see certain aspects because she can think from both sides. And I'm not saying with just this story, but I come to her a lot just to hear a alternate opinion or point of view of something that I'm going through. And a lot of things that she says is, you're empathetic. Like, you have empathy. And that a lot of humans lack empathy. I guess I don't understand in certain situations where empathy or couth is lacked. And so I guess it takes me some time to understand that because I be so hard on certain things. And so in this situation, right, how we're saying that, or how I just said that if my daughter can feel it, why can't they? And then there's a comment that's saying, well, my daughter is half of me. She is me, right? My thing is they are me too. They are me too. And the fact that I look like them, all of them, all of them,
Especially the
oldest,
no.
youngest,
Mm-hmm.
Darren. That's my twin for real. Y'all be saying Hannah my twin, but Darren's my twin. The fact that when somebody looks like you, right, you kind of feel that they are you. It's like a pickup moment. It's just like you pick up where you left off. It's even more serious to me because it's literally like looking at a mirror times 4. You know what I mean? So it's like, why isn't there empathy in that situation? But I'm gonna be real with you. Like my siblings have cried about this. They have. I don't know what happened after a while, but you know, it's never going to be. It's never going to be a team. Like I don't want anybody to choose sides. That's like not. That's not it. Because I would never want my children to choose sides. I would never want my children to choose between me and their father. I want everyone to just be happy. That's literally what I want. And just because one person feels unhappy, does that mean that the whole flock should shift to that one person and cater to them if you're saying that you love the other person? It doesn't take years to learn how to love somebody. It really doesn't. It doesn't take years to love anybody. It's about a connection. If you don't have a connection, then you just don't have a connection and you don't wish to love that person. And that's where I feel that Tracy is at. There's no connection between her and I. Or is there? I feel like there's no connection in between her and I. Because she doesn't want a connection. She doesn't want to know me. If she gets to know me, then there's going to be some sort of connection. If she gets to know me, then I'm going to grow on her. And that's not what she wants. Because if you start to grow a soft spot, right? It's just like the Grinch. What happened in the Grinch? It's just like the Grinch, though. It's a true life depiction. What did the Grinch do? He intentionally wanted to be mean. No matter how much happiness was around him, nobody ever treated him like he was the Grinch. They still tried to shower him with love, to unharden his heart, right? He had a heart with a ice. What was it? Was it the ice was growing around the heart? And you had to like chip it down. Mm-hmm. What was like the depiction of the Grinch? So he had like the ice around his heart that you had to warm up. But he didn't want that. He loved to be unhappy. You know? He loved to be unhappy. He loved to be miserable. He loved to be mean because it was a brick wall. It was a wall. It was a wall against feeling any other emotion than unhappiness. And honestly, it's easy to be unhappy more than it is to be happy. It takes a lot of time to be happy. And so I'm just going to assume that there were moments in her life that she was very unhappy. That's all I can say about it. But as far as being a parent, like I feel like being a parent, it comes with so much. And so honestly, I got on this live to, talk about these things with my daughter. And she doesn't have really too much to say on the situation. So I'm going to let it be like that. And then we can try like more lives where we can, hopefully you open up more. because I feel like you do got stuff to say. I feel like maybe it's at nighttime, you're a little bit more tired, you're a little bit more relaxed, you really don't want to think about it too much. I don't know. But I feel like you do have more to say. And I don't want you to be lazy about it. Like, I don't want you to be like, oh, I don't really feel like saying this or really talking about it. I want you to just talk about it. I agree. Right. And I agree with that as well because of the simple fact that in that paperwork it did say that she got prenatal care in the beginning, which I feel like everything that was written down gave me a storyline, a real true storyline. I can really envision it. And so saying that you had prenatal care in the earlier stages and then you just stopped going to the doctor, that makes me feel like you detached at that moment. You definitely detached at that moment. Let me see something. All right. Hey. That is so true. That is so true, brown sugar. And I just feel like if the rest of your siblings praise you on how you were as a parent and what you did for them, I feel like that keeps you moving away from the child that you know, really messed up with. So, you have any closing remarks? Because we're getting on an hour and. I'm sorry. What do you love to do with your kid?
Nothing. Mama, you don't do anything.
What don't I do?
I tell her to learn TikTok. She don't learn them. Dances. She always want to be a comedian.
Okay, like let's elaborate because I don't need to learn TikTok dances.
Yes, you do.
What do I like to do with you? There's other things that I like to do with you.
What do you like doing?
Huh?
What do you like doing?
Why you saying that? You gotta speak up because
Tell the people what you like doing.
I like to do your hair. I like to talk to you.
You know you like doing my hair, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like to talk to you. I do TikToks with you. I just don't do the TikToks you like. I like doing TikToks with you. I like doing things that actually be relatable. I'm not dancing. My hips gonna pop out. I can't even be on beat half the time. You know what I would like you to do? Your chores.
I do.
You don't.
You see my room.
Who told you to do it? Me.
No one. No one had to. You told me to clean my closet. Now my whole room.
Hey. Exactly. She want me to sit up here and do all this gyrating and stuff. I'm like, no. Ow, and that hurt right there. I like to go out. I like to take her outside, but guess what? Guess who don't like being outside?
Hate it.
Complete opposites.
Hate it.
Complete opposites. It's really not gonna click until she hits like 18, so we can go to like out.
What do you mean by out?
And you don't even like eating. Like you don't even like going out to eat. Like
yes, I do. We need to go. No, we need to go.
You be picky.
No, we need to go out to eat.
You be picky.
No, we need to go out to eat. We need to go get some crabs.
Ask her from time to time who she is. who she is not. How? Girl, you can't stomach it. I can't stomach it either. And I made a post on Instagram, which was, like, it's no longer sweep. I'm not sweeping anything under the rug. I'm not. I'm not sweeping nothing else under the rug. You just gonna feel uncomfortable, and here we are. I'm gonna make you uncomfortable. For 2 years, I sat silent. For 2 years, I waited patiently, didn't show any of my hurt or concern about anything. For 2 years, I sat in all of this, right? For 2 years. I don't want to hear anything now. I don't want to hear, now that I'm ready to tell the story, now that I'm starting to put two and two together, now that I don't have any issues with talking about it, I don't want to hear a peep from anybody. Why would you be, see, that's the thing, and I always say this to everybody, right? I've always said this, even to my kids. When I say things nicely, I gotta say it over and over and over and over again because I say it nicely. Can you clean up your room? Doesn't get done. Hey, can you clean up your room? Come back in. It doesn't get done. Why does your room look like this? I'm sick and tired of, get off the phone. Clean up this room. I'm taking the phone. This is that. When I get loud, guess what? When I get loud, that's when everything gets done, right? So when I'm quiet, when I'm talking, when I'm asking questions nicely, when I'm giving you the time to think about things, to giving you the time to gather yourself together to talk to me, the person that you hurt, you don't want to take the time, right? Now that I'm loud, you ain't want to give me the answers? I went and found the answers. So now that I went and found the answers, that I'm sharing the answers, I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear anything from you. Guess what, guys? To this day, I still don't hear anything. And I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm not going to stay silent anymore. I'm going to go ahead, since you don't want to have the one-on-one talk with me, let me have the one-on-one talk with my thousands of followers. You guys have been helping me through it. You guys have been listening to my story. You guys have been giving me motivation. So now that I'm telling the story, don't magically reappear. Don't sit up here and try to say anything. Don't sit up here and say anything to me. And it hasn't been said. I'm hypothetically speaking. I don't want to hear anything from anybody. And my family has respected my wishes. I haven't said anything to them, but my family has just let me go ahead and do what I need to do. I don't hear anything negative because I'm not looking for anything negative, and nor am I looking to entertain anybody. This is what I'm going to do. And at the same, I'm listening to my father. It's also his turn to speak. For 2 years as well, I didn't talk to my dad. He's been wanting to talk to me, but I had to get shit straight because everybody was bashing my dad. Nobody had a really good connection with my dad, because you want to know why? My dad is just like me. My dad is from New York, Jamaica, Queens. Jamaica, Queens. How does it go? Okay. Anyway, Southside Jamaica, Queens. Anyway. Did you say about a gang sign?
No.
Oh, because you're not even from there. He's from there. He's loud. You know how those New Yorkers are. The only way my father knows how to get things across is being loud. He says inappropriate things too. But everybody, because they're not on his side or willing to give him a chance to talk, he has valid reasons why he feels the way he feels and why he moves the way he moves, but don't nobody really want to listen to him for real. So I can admit that I was scared at times to talk to my father. I didn't know because I didn't want to mess up a good relationship.
Same thing with daddy.
Hmm?
Same thing with daddy.
What?
Scared to tell him stuff too. But I can now. I ain't scared no more.
Why are you scared to tell him stuff?
I was.
Why?
You know, daddy, back then daddy was real loud. Like, real loud.
He finally got loud because that man was quiet.
No. No, daddy was loud. Well, he wanted to be. Now he quiet.
I'd be quiet too if I had all them kids.
Yeah. These kids doing?
Anyway. So, my father has, definitely spit his side of the truth. And so, I do stand tall with him about how he feels. One thing that I'm not going to get over is the fact that in that paperwork it said that his rights were relinquished. So, I am looking into that. I'm going to all the way look into that. I'm going to all the way look into what surrounds, because I'm a law type chick, so I know a lot about law, and I'm gonna get with a couple of lawyers. Anybody knows some really good lawyers who would be interested in talking to me about things, because at this point I am ready to come for the adoption agency. I am trying to figure out how that was even possible. I did look up the laws for adoption, and legally in adoption it takes two people in order to adopt. That means it takes two people in order to adopt a child, and it takes two people to give a child up. So at what point, right? Because I see the lies in that paperwork that was made by Tracy, which stated that my father did not want me. He was not interested. Okay, scratch that. So if my father didn't want me and my father wasn't interested, how did you get married to my father and a year later have his child? And my father saying that y'all hadn't talked for a while. The only reason that he came back, right? Or the reason that y'all got to talking is because you contacted him and told him that his daughter died. So you contacted him, let him know his daughter died. And then after that, that's when y'all started talking again. And I can see that very well happening. I mean, it's called rekindling through a trauma. So with him being so young, he most likely tried to rekindle through that trauma. And then y'all decided to get married, but you knew you wanted to get married to him because in that documentation that you did, it stated that you were going to get married to him. But you made it seem like it was another man. So my question is, for this adoption agency, which I have all the paperwork of the adoption agency, the lawyers, all this other stuff that worked on everything back then. So my question is when did y'all decide that y'all were going to relinquish his rights? And why did y'all decide y'all were going to relinquish his rights? Did you do the proper procedures in looking for my father? Did you go through the proper procedures to get the court to find him? Because he was in the armed services. So I'm trying to understand how his rights had got relinquished. Let me see these comments. She looks like she doesn't play.
Because I don't.
You fighting? Facts. You wanna go back to your room? You done? Are you done?
That's fine.
Okay, say bye. So we'll get her later on. You can go.
Bye.
You ain't want to stay. You ain't want to stay anyway. It's getting late. Your head hurts? Why your head hurt? Yeah. Yes. So it is supposed to be a sign. I don't have. I need to get some sign. Like get all the documentation. It looks like the ones that they. Hey. It looks like the ones like I don't see signatures. I see typed up stuff, and I need to get some of those signatures. But yeah. The biological father is supposed to sign off, unless you're claiming that you don't know the biological father, but that's not what was written in that paperwork. So it doesn't say that she didn't know who the father was. She claims that the father didn't want anything to do with me, but yet you didn't give, from my knowledge, it doesn't say that they tried to contact you. Um I'm gonna get down deeper to it because like if I find out, like they contacted him and he said that, he no longer wanted it either, then I would know. Hey. No, I'm not getting my locks back. I do not want locks. I did it for 12 years. I am starting to believe that the adoption agency did do it falsely. I am. Not, and I gave Tracy that as well, just so y'all know. So when I felt like that there could be, I don't trust a system, right? And I never trust when something or somebody is trying to do something so vigorously. And in that time in the 80s, this agency was wanting to be put out there. And I did make the newspaper where it stated that I was the first black child, or they highlighted my adoption. So I know that if you read about adoption in the 80s and things that were going on with children, there was a children slave trade, kind of. Lots of people were selling their babies, lots of people were killing their babies, lots of people were just throwing their babies out in the street, and there were lots of people that were giving their babies up for adoption. So I do not think that every agency did things illegally. Um, I do feel like they were so ready to get this baby, especially if you guys know that it's a commodity to have a newborn. So guess what? They hounded my adoptive mother. That's my mother. I don't call her my adoptive mother. I always say that to you guys. So when you hear me say mother, it's Jane, and it's not my, I don't refer to her as my adoptive mother. There's Tracy, and then there's my mom. So my mom did not want, because my mother was a nurse, she did not want a newborn baby. As you can see in the documentation, it stated that Tracy contacted the agency around her 7th month of pregnancy. So the agency knew that there was going to be a newborn baby. And my mother was actively looking for adoption, to adopt a child. But she wanted to adopt a child that was around 1 to 2 years old, like not having an infant stage, because my mother's a nurse. So I think that they wanted to just, oh my God, a fresh newborn baby. Like, I just want I want to have a newborn baby to give, and we got to find it a family ASAP. I believe that they kept calling, they probably kept calling Tracy as well to make sure that she wasn't going to go back on it. So she did take me home though. And so that's where it gets a little confusing, because you did take me home. What happened? Like, what was being said in those moments and things like that? You know what I mean? Like, were they hounding her too? Money in the 80s was a motivation for everything, right? There was drugs and money, drugs and money, drugs and money. So I think about everything on I don't want to make anybody, just any one person, right? I don't want to make any one person. Hey, I am not making any one person the culprit here. I looked at my father wrong. I looked at my mother wrong. But I did also look at the agency wrong. I gave everybody an opportunity to basically show themselves. I have paperwork. There's things in there that I question. I'm not all the way sold on the agency. My father, why weren't you answering the phone? Even though you were mad at her, this could have been the moment that you could have possibly saved me. And even though you weren't answering the phone, you know, like, why? Just why? Questions with him. Why? You're not off the hook. I don't want to, because Tracy's not giving me what I want, I'm going to go over here and love somebody else and team up with them. No, everybody is in the same corner until we figure it out. But I've given everybody the same chance to come out and tell what they remember and what's in their story. Everybody. So when Tracy said that she was told that I died and that she believed that there was things that had to have occurred between the hospital and the adoption agency. She would never give me up for adoption. There were lies and lies and lies and lies. But there could have been some point of a truth, because in my paperwork, right, it did state that I, needed to get resuscitated. But then I looked deeper into the paperwork and you took me home. So there's things that are just, they're not flowing. You're throwing lies into things when you can just tell the truth. And like I told her when I cussed her out, you're continuing the hurt over and over and over again. You're continuing the hurt and you won't stop because you want to make yourself feel better. And that's messed up. I'm sure too. The company did stay in touch with her. I'm pretty sure they kept asking her, what does she want to do? What does she want to do? And with adoption, right? Even after, hold on, guys. Even after, what was I getting at? You gave me up. I also stated in my videos, guys, if you have not watched my videos, go watch them. The biological parents have until the finalization of documents to claim their child. So even after you gave me up in July, August, and September, you had 2 months. 2 months. And for me, guys, as a parent, 2 months without my children, like to give my kids away to somebody else and for 2 months not say anything or like to not have communication with them, is one day feels like 2 years. So for me, 2 months is almost 20 years without my child. So for 2 months, you had to change your mind around and you didn't. So I just need to see where these things are going. And in my honest opinion, because today's live was about me and my daughter, I feel like she has some more warming up to do. I feel like she's not comfortable with talking about it. And so she just hasn't said anything in regards to this. I just wanted to let that be known. I can see that in her eyes, like her eyes were getting red, and I don't think that she wants to be on here crying. So I feel like she don't want to see me cry, and she don't want to see her cry. Um, they didn't. I don't think that she's scared. I don't think that they threatened her. Here's the thing, right? Paperwork. There's a paper trail. It's a huge paper trail. You really can't get away with anything. I don't think they threatened her. I think that they kept hounding her. Now, what they said is, I don't know what they said, but it probably was along the lines of, like, are you sure you want this? Are you sure we? But that is normal of an agency, because they have to make sure the child's welfare is not in jeopardy. And so when you've come to them about an adoption and then they don't hear from you, or they don't want the baby to be they don't want anything to, happen with the baby. I'm really trying to figure out how I can block people. Um I think Tracy slept with someone else and have left. I believe so too. And I'm going to tell you, she has a history of sleeping around with people and still having those kids by my father. She has a history of doing so. She's not only lied to me. That's not my story to tell, but I am going to say that I'm not the only sibling that she's lied to. And I know it's not just about this, but I'm just saying, I'm not the only sibling that she has lied to. And I'm going to keep it straight like that. She's not treating me any different than she treated them. The only thing is that she raised them. So I don't have a tolerance for the lies. I believe so. I think that my father had went away. He went into the services. He was in and out. My father was 15 when he first started dealing with Tracy. They're 6 years apart. So Tracy was 21 and my father was 15. So she lied in that paperwork, the paperwork that you guys saw. Those are not the correct ages for my father. She did have me when she was 24. My father was not 22. My father was 18. I believe that my father says that she cheated on him multiple times, but yet consistently did not want him to do anything with anybody else. And, yeah, he knows people that she slept with, but she never came forward to say that that's, what happened and things like that. So I also had stated, I believe that, I'm named after her brother. I'll just leave that at that. Just understand that in my perspective, this is when I found out, when I first found out, I really thought that I was a baby that was getting tossed to the side because you didn't know who my father was. And then for the person that had asked, did I get a paternity test? Yes, that's how I found out about all of my siblings, as well as my parents. So it's confirmed that that's my dad. Biologically, he's my dad. Biologically, he's the dad of all of the children, because they all did ancestry after me. So yeah. I find it very weird and awkward that I was named after my uncle. I'm just gonna be honest about that. I find it very weird and awkward, and he wants to meet me so fucking bad. I won't, but I just found it very awkward. And like I said, I protect children. And so even though my siblings and I are grown and my cousins are grown, they're still children. They still have an inner child. So I don't talk about too much because I keep it strictly about me. I keep it strictly about me. I felt like I was a secret that needed to be get rid of. He's not. He's not. He's not. He's not. I look like my father. I don't know if y'all had seen the videos of me and him. I look like my father. I belong to my father. I am so trying to write a book, but I don't know. And you're right, Nick. Is it Nika? It's no excuse, especially because you were baby number 3. There's none, and there were 2 to follow after me. It's so many. It's just so many questions. It's so many questions because it just doesn't make sense. So that's why it makes it that much harder for all of us to believe. Is because out of the 5 children that you had, the 5 children that you had, baby number 3 was the only one thrown away, and you kept all of the rest. So in that year that you had me or got pregnant by me, you felt like you were not going to be financially able to sustain me. So a year later, you felt like you were going to financially sustain me. What changed from 1988 to 1989? Basically 1989, 1990. What changed in a year so drastically? Answer that. What changed in a year so drastically that made you feel like you can get married to my father and have another child by my father, and later, a year to 2 years later, have another child? What drastically changed? I asked my father. You wasn't out here working. This is what my father's saying. You wasn't out here working. You was on Section 8. You was getting assistance. So what, from one year to another, you got an extra $40,000-$50,000 of income? Just curious to know. See, your story's a little different. Different fathers. So there could be something going on there between like having different fathers and things. She said your father was supporting them, then turned and said financially she didn't think she could handle having another baby. Exactly. 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 She thought her secret was safe and that she could move on like it never happened. Basically. And then bam, 33 years later, your secret is not safe. Hence hence the video on my page. Your secret's not safe. Yes, y'all. Y'all got to hurry up and get me to 2K, because that is when we're going to talk to Daddy. I told y'all he's going to be a fan favorite. Y'all are going to love him. I always tell my father, keep it respectful, keep it cute, keep it clean. Thank you. I am a very different person. I am a very different person. I am. I have always felt that I'm just not of this world, just because of the way that I've been thinking since I was young. It doesn't feel good when you feel like you're just a black sheep in this world. But you learn to deal with it. You learn to love who you are, and you love to deal with your talents. Thank you. Let me turn my fan off, guys, because my fan is killing me and it's going to make me get off live. So what was that yes, she did say that my father was supporting her. She did say that he was supporting her, but again, she was making it seem like there were two people in the picture. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. She did make it seem like there was two people in the picture, two guys in the picture, so she made it seem like one of the men was my dad and the one was a different guy. And because my father found out, it looks like in the paperwork, it's because my father found out that she was pregnant by somebody else and he no longer wanted to, he had no interest. It's just all weird and jumbled up. It really is. But my father, when y'all hear what he has to say, y'all, it's gonna make sense to you. It's gonna make sense because you're gonna hear it from the horse's mouth. You're gonna hear it from him. You're gonna hear how he felt. I told him, like, Dad, you can have this platform. Because every day he apologizes to me. Every single day he apologizes to me. Every day he apologizes to me that he didn't mean for any of this to happen. That he just didn't want to talk to her, but he didn't want to get rid of me. Has your father talked to Tracy? He would never dare. He would never dare. We all have the same dad. Have you began the healing journey from this? I'm still healing from my bio father. I've been started the healing journey. That was my 2 years absence. My 2 years absence was my healing journey. And this, believe it or not, guys, this right here is also a part of my healing journey. You know how it's sometimes hard to just talk to yourself? Like, you try to talk to yourself and you try to, get yourself through things and it just doesn't seem to work. Even though you have the answers, you're like, I mean, I know this is what it is and things like that, but no matter what, you have to get it out. You have to get it out. And nothing from this am I getting other than getting my journey, sharing that with you guys. And also possibly touching and talking to you guys about what you guys are going through. Getting perspective. Remember, a lot of you guys knew them before I knew them. So now you guys are able to tell me things that you observed and where you feel like things changed and who knows what and who's lying and who's telling the truth. You guys knew before me. My father does not talk to them like that because I'll let you guys, when we get to that level of 2K, you'll hear from him. If I want to find my sister who was in a closed adoption, if I do Ancestry, can I possibly find her? I was told I only could information with the agency. So if it's a closed adoption, it's 10 times harder for you to get any information. The only way that you're able to get any results on Ancestry is if family members have done Ancestry too. So luckily for my sake, because I always tell you guys, I wasn't looking for my family. I was just looking to see my genealogy, like my DNA, like my actual DNA. That's what Ancestry does. It does your DNA. It tells you what's, in your genetic makeup, who you are, like, in the world.
So when I stumbled across somebody that looked like me, because you're asked if you can release if you would like to release your information, and I stated I would release my information. That is when people started popping up, because again, this family has lots of secrets, and there were lots of people in this family looking for the rest of the family. So if you have family, it's a good place to start. Go on Ancestry, and you're going to have to start piecing everything together. It tells you who your first cousins are. It will tell you if there are siblings. It tells you a lot of things. So you're going to have to piece things together. So you can start at Ancestry, start talking to people, ask them, who they are, where they're from, things like that. Well, guys, I have been on here long enough. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to rap to my daughter some more, and we'll see if we can grab her back on here and have her talk some more. It shocked me because I did not know that she saw the videos. She hasn't talked to me about seeing the videos. So that is something that we should talk about. It is just a recap, it is good to hear that my daughter really felt like nothing about me had changed, even after finding out about these are some of the things that I've been dealing with. So it makes me happy to hear that she feels like I have been a parent no matter what my circumstances have been, because the crazy part about it is that I tried that much harder to be a parent while going through this. So there were times where I felt like I was fading. There were times where I felt like I just wasn't doing enough. And to hear my daughter say that I was doing enough, that I was present for her, and I didn't miss a beat, I'm completely happy about that. Her healing in regards to Tracy, that's something that we need to do together. Definitely need to do together, so that I can see where her mind is at all times. And I did struggle. Getting up and being present, but obviously I did what I needed to do. So designed by two mums. Thank you, girl. My family does too, because unfortunately in the 80s in DC, the drug pandemic got a hold of most folks. And see, we're from up north, so that's even crazier. Thank you, Angel. I'll continue to come back and forth on live. This was my first live. Thank you guys so much. 120 people in here. It makes me feel great. It was nothing but positivity in this live. I truly, truly appreciate you guys on this journey. Again, so our next steps, right? We're going to try to figure out where to go from this. We need to talk to my dad. You guys. We've got to talk to my dad. So get me to 2K. Get me to 2K. In the meantime, I told y'all he's not tech savvy. He's just waiting and practicing with his technology so that he can show up for us. So, yeah, get me to 2K. Share this live. Share everything. Share it. I want to thank you guys so much. I love all of you. I'm going to work on the book. I'm going to work on so much in the in-between time. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Enjoy your night. I'll keep, placing things on here. I was born in Pennsylvania, Allentown, Pennsylvania, and my father's from New York. I'll keep, keeping you guys in the loop. That's what I'm going to do. All right. So see you guys later. Feel free to DM me, message me, anything. Go back, look at those videos. Any questions you guys got, write them down. I'll be back. Bye.